Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back, but I'm gonna take a break from Marvel Strike Force videos today. Something happened last week that I'm sure all of you guys did hear about. Stanley unfortunately did pass away. We actually knew about it in school. I was in school and it happened ninth period. Like as soon as it happened, we all knew. Like people were just. Well, I was in my AP class, and he told us time to work on the project on our phones. We're there, and I have this kid who sits behind me, and he watches the Marvel movies, just like I do, very into them. And he's sitting there, and we're just sitting there, looking at memes on Reddit. And the kid in front of us turns around. He's like, guys, he's like, Stanley passed away, and we're like that's all. Everybody, there's always been those fake, articles. You're like that can't have possibly happened. And we did our own research, and it did in fact appear as if Stanley did pass away, and he did in fact pass away. So that was very sad for us as people that enjoy the MCU a lot, love the Marvel characters. Stan Lee's sort of one of those people like Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross, those very great people that you imagine will always be around, but then they're not around forever. And I sort of want to talk about it a bit today because I think I'm in a unique perspective as a 17-year-old. A lot of the people who are mourning Stanley's loss, I think a lot of the people you hear from are older, they're adults. I'm a kid that grew up with the MCU. I was like, what was I like? Let's see, it's been over 10 years in the MCU. I'm 17, so I was like 7 or 8 when Iron Man and Hulk were happening. My dad took me to see those movies. I've grown up with the MCU. Infinity Wars Part 2 is coming out my senior year of high school. It's like perfectly aligned with my childhood. Very close with the Marvel characters. And I kind of wanted to take a little bit of time today to show you guys something I made back in, this was 6th grade. I keep all of the old things I worked on way back through middle school. And I wanted to show you guys this little thing I made. We had to pick a person to do a little report on, a little PowerPoint on, and this is who I picked. So as we can see here, here's my little Stan Lee project I did back in the day. Now this was some pretty deep stuff I did. You actually could click on the table of contents, and it would take you to a table of contents, and oh my, do you see how deep this is? Look, and you can click on it, takes you to every single slide. So don't mean to brag, I did a pretty good job on this PowerPoint back in the day. I was a little bit of a tryhard, but as you can see, I was very close to Stanley. I very much cared about Stanley back in the day, and I still do and still did very much care about Stanley. So I just want to show you guys this real quick because, well, one, I'm proud of my PowerPoint skills on this. I mean, this is some incredible PowerPoint skills right here. But I thought it'd be a little nice break from what we usually do here. So, there's some real deep stuff I say here. He calls his faithful fans the true believers, and I did these little, I enjoyed this a lot as a kid. I actually went down and I sort of did a slide for each of these characters. Look how well made those slides are. Do you see this? Do you see how refined these slides are? This is just some impressive stuff right here I did for the for Stanley. And this, I don't even know if Avengers was out back when I made the clips. If I was in 6th grade, I think Avengers would have been out by then, but it would have been a relatively new movie. So it's still like very early on in the MCU, and it was I just really liked Stanley, and he is the person that I wanted to do the project on. So just to show you guys how much I do care about Stanley. Now we're gonna stop here because you have to do a little slide at the end about who you are, and in that slide I'm like, oh, this is my full name, and I go to this school, and for obvious reasons we're not going to include that in the video. But I just want to take this time today to say, we'll miss Stanley. Without him, we wouldn't have Marvel Strike Force. Without Marvel Strike Force, I wouldn't be a YouTuber. So there's a lot of things that would be different in this world without for Stanley. And that's just one of the many ways Stanley did change the world for the better. And it actually relates to Marvel Strike Force a bit because they are giving us 2 free character shards every day in relation to some of the characters he created. And to those of you that are complaining that it's only 2 character shards, stop. Don't complain if this is, this is sort of like, oh, well, that's nice. At least we're getting 2 shards for it. But literally, that's nothing. Do not complain about that. That is, please do not complain that we are not getting enough from this. So I just want to say in this video, thank you to Stanley for everything he did. Let me know down below your favorite memory of Stanley. I say memories if we knew him, but like, he was such a friendly guy. It's almost as if everybody knew him. So with that being said, what do I know? I am just a 17-year-old. Signing off, guys.